if you give up now, that means everything you just did was useless for nothing.
A person's treasure lies right in the cave that they fear of entering most. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Next Gen Traders YouTube channel. It has been a long while since you've seen us. It's been a bit over 2 months, and actually, this week is the 1-year anniversary of us making videos on this channel, which is super, super awesome. We haven't been super consistent lately, but that's okay because when we do show up, it's gonna be extra, extra special. And we all have made some big changes since the last episode, so we'll make sure to update you guys with those. A few of us have some really cool trips planned that we will make sure to share with you guys, and we'll go over the markets, which have been very, very interesting lately, as well as the changes we have made in each of our trading journeys. So without further ado, we're going to start off with the market conditions, and we'll have Xander start off with the small caps.
So small caps have been heating up slowly but surely. I think about a month ago they were, pretty slow. Personally, for me, it was good for my style, but longs, it was kind of just slow and dead out there. But now things are heating up, and we're getting a lot more multi-day runners, and a lot more breakouts, stuff like that. Things are running a lot more than expected. Just today, SIDU was the day one that end of day went on a huge run, which is just super rare to happen, but it did. And so day two setups are going to be more popular, and multi-day setups are popping up more and more. So that's small caps. They've been heating up.
Yeah, awesome. Perfect description. I transferred from small caps at kind of a bad time, but we'll talk about that later. But I'll start off by talking about large caps, and Sam and Alex will add after. So the last 5 days of the market have been very, very interesting for like major large cap stocks: Google, Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, the SPY, all of those. A lot of large cap stocks are nearing their key support over the past few years since before Corona, and even like Amazon is at its like 2018, 2019 levels. So things are bottoming out if the market is going to bounce currently where it is, or if it doesn't, if it keeps going lower, we'll get that break of the level and a retest looking for more downside. So it all depends on what today's 75 basis point rate hike does, and there's going to be another one next month. So in terms of the overall market, no one can really, guess what's going to happen, because obviously with the FOMC meeting today, there was quite a few changes, but a lot of things are finding support, and the overall market's been ugly for the past 5 trading days, and we'll see what direction they go from here, because really nobody knows. So Sam, you want to go next?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good description. It's been pretty difficult to trade in the mid caps recently. I mean, you can do it, but it's been very choppy. You've got a lot of emotion right now, and whenever there's a lot of emotion in the markets, then it gets kind of hard to trade consistently in that. So I know in your retail traders, you've got a lot of fear in people who are wanting to, retail traders or investors. There's a lot of fear that's going around, and it's just definitely a very annoying period. The last few days, like Lance said, have definitely been pretty hardcore. But I think that we are starting to find a little bit of a base, and we'll who knows, once it builds a base, it can go lower, it can break that again, or you can build for a while and come up a little bit. Along with that, I mean, you look at Bitcoin even. I mean, that's been plummeting cryptos. Bitcoin went down to 22, 21, which was like 20s and 21s.
It's like everyone who bought in like 2018, considered smart now, like at the same levels.
Yeah,
sub 10K by Halloween, baby. Let's go.
No, so 20 and 21 was 20 and 21,000 was the previous high of Bitcoin back in 2017. So it's got back down there, and it seems to be basing. So maybe we're going to see an overall base and potential bounce back of some of these markets. You just don't know, and that's not our job to figure out. We just respond with what we can, but definitely been choppy for sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
And Alex has had some great swing trades recently. So
yeah,
Alex,
one.
yeah,
Just
one great swing trade.
Yeah, it's because remember before I was like learning that, and I was like waiting for the moment to start trading them because there was no reason to trade them at that time. And then in the end of the May, I remember the May 25th, that's when the market bounced, and a lot of the breakouts happened that day, and that's when like I I thought it was the bottom, so I had one like good swing trade, but in the end it only was like 3R. But yeah, that was the moment when the market was good and a lot of stocks were moving. But then right after that, the inflation thing came, in like 5 days, like 4 days, it just dropped everything, and yeah, and I again stopped trading. So like in large caps, it's just yeah. Right now, just like if you're like a long trader in large cap, you're not gonna trade like in the next months, or you're gonna just lose money.
Even short, it's been difficult. I mean,
Well,
when the market's going
yeah,
down,
I know. Yeah,
oh well, you can short, but
yeah,
hey,
right.
bounces too.
Because you need the bounce. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so as a short, it's been difficult to get in, and the thing is like it won't bounce how you want it to, and so then it starts to go down. You're okay, so let me try to follow the trend down, and then as soon as you're starting to follow the trend down, then it bounces.
It just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Yeah. Then for the OTC market, it's funny because our last episode was on April 4th. That was after my March, like my best month ever. Right after that month, like they were like literally nothing for me, and I had a red month in April, then I had like a break-even month in May. So those 2 months, it was basically like nothing for the OTCs. I mean, there were still plays, but I just couldn't catch them. They were like so weird, and they're even right now they're very weird. So yeah, like just was nothing. And last week, like this past week, I started like only watching listed, and of course the week I started watching listed, there was like huge breakout, the GEIC, it was a GESI, but yeah, that was an unfortunate miss. But still, like you just like spend so much time watching like nothingness, but then listed at least I'm learning something. So yeah, I'm doing small caps, and Xander just talked about how there were like few good breakouts, and I had some few good trades, and I'll talk about them later. So yeah.
Beautiful. Love to hear it. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about, what's new and kind of updating each of us right now. So Xander is going to go ahead and go first.
Awesome. So I've been performing really well. This is actually filtered for just my system that I'm trading now, but I'll filter from May 1st. May 1st is when I decided to fully commit to the system. And I know I've said that since like probably last year at this point, but this time I actually have been sticking with it, and it's been paying off really well. As you can see from an equity curve I've never had before. So yeah, it's been really good. I've just been sticking with it. It's an all-day fader system, and I've been, pretty much executing at 100% every day with probably only a couple slip-ups in the last 2 months. And here you can see the stats. It's it's not the best profit factor, but it's consistent, and this is with 110 samples, which is a really good sample size to prove that it's been profitable. As you can see, largest gain 10.5R, that's pretty insane. Largest loss 2.3R, that's just I got unfortunate slippage. So it's overall been really good. 45R in the last well, this is ADF, this is my system, but let me go to May 1st for more recent stats. So yeah, as you can see, pretty much the same. It's been pretty consistent. But yeah, overall I've been performing really well, just sticking with the system. I've been doing a lot of refining. Yet my fix was actually simplifying the system. So I traded a similar system in I think it was March. Yeah, March I traded a similar system. But this one I added a lot on, like I had an adding signal, and all I did was remove that adding signal, and that basically fixed the problem. And I've been profitable with the system ever since. And so that was my fix. So you just have to test things out. If you have a problem in the system, there's sometimes a lot of little fixes, sometimes one big fix. For me, it was one big fix, and that solved everything. And so some of my trades are on my Twitter. So if you want to see more, you could follow. This was today's probably the cleanest fade ever, because this thing reminded me of like the OTC price action, just consecutive red candles. It was really clean. And then, you know, I've gotten some other, like, things have been fading pretty well. Yet, as you can see, I've been getting stopped out. Just today on SIDU, I took a max loss. But I'm still green on the day just because of my other trades that had high risk reward. As you can see, there's been things like this that happen where I even get a ton of slippage, but I'm still ending up green just because of the risk reward on the next day of trades. And yeah, the market's been super good for me, so I'm really happy about that. But yeah, overall, it's been really great.
Heck yeah. And guys, Xander is trying to skip over this by scrolling through his Twitter. Go watch his vlog video, Day in the Life.
Oh
Pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I've
Editing
been
is good too.
uploading to my YouTube recently.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm gonna go next. I got a lot of things to talk about. So the past few months, since we've recorded an episode, as Xander talked about earlier, small caps have been getting hot the past, I'd say, week and a half, maybe to 2 weeks. And I moved away from small caps a little bit at a pretty bad time. Not completely. I'm not tuning them out. I just haven't been focused on them solely like I used to. Right now, for me, it's finding that perfect balance. And that perfect balance is I have started switching to trading options lately. Switching from small caps to large caps has been pretty much like learning trading all over again. You know, small caps are crazy, like euphoria driven. And, you know, once like these key zones break, no one ever knows what's going to happen and all this stuff. And with large caps, it's essentially like algos are playing ping pong above and below VWAP. And unless there's like a major trend of some sort, it's just going to keep ping ponging back and forth. So, you know, that's been quite a change. So as I said, I started trading options, and at first it was going really, really well. I found consistency for a minute that I never had before. I had, in about a week and a half to 2 weeks, I had made back all the losses from this year so far in the past like 5.5 months. And, you know, after like 6-7 wins in a row, I got complacent. I got too convicted. And let's just say I broke all trading rules that I never thought I would ever do. This is something that if you told me, you know, a month ago that I was going to do something like this, I would say like, you're crazy. I couldn't understand what was, you know, going through my mind at the time, but let's just say I took a very, very sizable loss the past 5 days on the SPY, completely dying. And, you know, that's about it with that. I accepted it, you know, the day of. So right now I'm not like super like tied to it anymore. You know, I have a clear plan going forward, but, you know, can't let one loss, you know, wipe out so much of just, it was a really bad situation, but I'm just glad it happened now instead of, you know, later down my journey when it, you know, something wipes out like a huge portion of my account and it's like an unrecoverable amount that I can't just fund back. Like I can fund back this loss. I'm just happy it's not like something huge. But I want to share some charts, but unfortunately I still haven't figured out how to put options charts on Thinkorswim. It's pretty difficult, but as I figure out, I will be sharing with you guys as I start doing that. And you know, I feel like after a big struggle like this, it's time for me to be more transparent than ever, and you know, really get real with myself and be like, wow, like this is something that I never thought I would do, something that is never going to happen again, but also something that I needed to. Everyone takes a big loss in their trading career at some point. It happens to everybody, you know, no matter when it may happen, but you know, can't like get over euphoric, I guess, after, you know, a winning streak. And, you know, I suffered a big loss, and, you know, that's all she wrote. And that was, I got out of that position on Tuesday. So, yeah, that was about that. And yeah, like I said, now I am primarily focusing on options, and I will trade small caps sometimes. but mostly focused on options. And I've been applying some mean reversion strategies as well as using some moving averages to pinpoint some entries and exits to catch these mini trends intraday, and then just getting out when that trend is over and moving on forward. So I have a clear process for the future. It's pretty discretionary, like it's not super systematized, but I know that if I keep executing it, I'll be able to be consistent, and it might take a few months to recover this loss that I just took, but I think it taught me a lot of lessons that I really needed, and it's a major setback for a major comeback, but yeah, that's about it for me. I don't really have anything like super technical. As I said, as I get more charts up and more in-depth details with options and stuff, I'll continue to update you guys more. But I just had to update you guys on what's been happening with me lately. And I'm mostly options, small caps as well. I'd say maybe 70% options, 30% small caps, and just basically trading what moves. I'm not here to try to pick trends that aren't there. I'm just going to see, okay, here's what's moving. Okay, here's what's in a trend. I'll ride this trend until it's over, and then I'll move on to the next one. So, that's about it for me. And can't wait to hear what Alex has to say here in a second, and Sam after him. So that's all I got with me. And go ahead, Alex.
Okay. Yeah. Well said. Well said that like the loss. I also took like a pretty big loss. Like it was like in the beginning. It's just as good like it happens now. So yeah, it's fine. Especially like after I saw that you like had those good trades, and I'm pretty sure that loss not gonna do anything. So you can just continue to like make the small wins.
Yep, that's the goal. Appreciate it.
So for me, again, since the end of the March, I would say I had like 50-50 OTCs and listed, but there wasn't like any good list OTC trade to talk about. So I'm only gonna talk about the trades I took this month, actually this past week. So yeah, Sam is happy there.
Never thought I'd hear those words come out of your mouth, man.
Me neither.
So the first one is the big cap. Well, actually, it probably was a mid cap, but I'm gonna use this fancy chart here. So
my man traded the strongest stock in the whole market at this time.
NFE. Wait, what's happening? I can't move anything here. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, at some point it was ranked the number one. So so as I said, the 25th here, see, 25th, March 25th, a lot of stocks had breakouts here. So I saw this nice tight day, and then I just entered here on the 5-minute thing perfectly. I entered right there, and then I sold the third here, and then I was just like, and then I was like, well, now my stop is the 10-day, and then this day just completely died. It went under even 20, and I just sold it for like it went from like 10R at the top to like 1R here. So overall it was only 3R, and if we go here, the entry was pretty good. Like, and there's nothing I could have done better here. If you look here, like it was a decent sell, and if I sold something here, that would have been like breaking the rules, because why would you sell the stock that's going up? You have to wait until it like breaks the risk. So yeah, there's no regrets here. Like the entry here and this sell. So still it was this in R. Like then so this was like a 11-day swing. Yeah, this was the biggest I had. And then next day I had this was the first day I started trading things. What is it? The listed.
This stock is freaking bonkers, dude. It breaks down every damn day.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you look at the chart, and I would just guess where I traded this on this day. Like, out of all the big green days, I traded on this day here.
Bro.
Yeah, because the other days it just wasn't like, it just was crazy. So I traded here because it was like a nice change here, right here.
Oh, look at that beautiful.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, so we had this nice little trade here, and again I wanted more, because with OTCs I'm like, well, I'm not gonna sell because it can go more, but I don't know, and they had, I think, offering or something, it just died here. But thanks, I had like a very few shares left, but still I think I should have sold everything here whenever it rejected 12. but overall it was a nice 4-hour trade. Then the next day, right next day, like literally right when I started to trade, like it started to give me good trades. Here we had this RDBX breakout. I took it on this day here. Then we had this like a 1 day of consolidation. So basically same a trend change here. And I had a very like the entry was here. Yeah. So I
This
entered.
is beautiful.
That's so pretty.
Look at that. This is by the way, this is the best chart I've seen anybody trade this, like anywhere.
Yeah, I agree, Sam.
Yeah,
Literally.
So-
Xander said that. He was like, dude, this is
Yeah.
the best I've seen someone trade this.
I'm gonna
So-
screenshot this, send it to my buddy.
So the entry was right here, right? Like because it broke the trend in the open, and I missed this because I was watching some other things. So then, whenever it like many people whenever they see like this like that kind of like, oh, I'm scared, but I was like, well, it is the same price it was here, and if I bought here, I would be selling here because this is the risk. So I just bought there, and unfortunately I bought only half, so like a starter, because it wasn't that convinced. But I think if I bought it here, I would have bought the full size right away. So yeah, and then I wanted to add, but like if you look at this chart like this, like look how choppy it is.
Yeah,
Like where am I gonna add? Like I don't know where I'm gonna add. Like I wanted to add on the VWAP reclaim if it went a little bit like longer, but it just went right away and then look back. And so I don't know. Like a lot of people bought here, and it looks like a nice entry when you look at like this, like clean entry. But like this, like if I buy here, like I'm gonna risk here. Like that's too wide of a risk. So
Yeah, it's wide.
that's why I never bought.
yes, and 1060, it could have double topped and then trended
Yeah,
back.
right. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. Like this is the only spot I see myself adding, but it was just too early to add. So, but still, it was half set, at least something. And then it just went completely crazy. Like I was telling you in the chat how when I was buying, my goal was like 11, and then it goes like 12 to 13 in the next like half an hour. So I started selling. I sold here, and then into the weakness because I kind of thought it was over, but it went higher. But I still sold here now, and I was okay with the rest. It was good, 10 hour with it listed for like an hour or so, 2 hours. So
Heck yeah.
yeah,
Beautiful.
that was my best trade execution wise, and I think PNL too. I mean, it was $15 risk when I used 60 with OGCs, but it's fine because I don't care about the money. Then we had another good trade the next day, but I mean it was Monday. This one, this was a breakout also. Here
Is
I
this
bought
a
it.
sympathy to AERC?
Yes, I think so. If they have the same sector, let's see.
Oh yeah,
Like,
UV. Apply UV.
industrials. Yeah, they're both industrials. Yeah. So yeah. So and I had a good trade here too. Well, whenever like I bought this here on this day, and then it went big on the next day, but I still had the quick trade here. Let's see. It was a pretty quick trade, like on OTCs I used to do, like a quick entry here, and then I sold everything here. Again, see, I sold, but because I sold like few here because it was just a breakout only, so it just started to like it actually broke out. So I was like, well, now I have to wait for the continuation, but it just died right away. Still, here I went full size, thankfully. So yeah, like these 3 trades are like, because I was with OTCs for like the past 2 months, I was like on a big drawdown, like a thing, like I was like 10 hour from the top or something. So now I broke to new highs, so that's good.
Beautiful.
Well, not 10 hour, it was a little bit less, yeah. And then I'm not gonna go over them because it's just the losses. I had like 4 losses, but obviously they're small compared to the wins. 4 or 5
For
losses,
sure.
but they're all small, and they're like they're like exit, like entry exit, like within like a few minutes. So not really anything to talk about. But yeah, overall, like you see all those stocks, like Xander was saying, good breakouts here. Like this breakout for like 11 to almost 20. Then we had this one. This is crazy. It went even higher today. Yeah, this one. So I'm hoping that they continue go this week and next week, because I guess I can trade them, because I remember before I was always saying how I don't understand how listed breakouts work, because the entries of them are different than OTCs. But now I guess after I started to like learn swings, and because my entry is kind of similar than on swings, I want to like enter in the morning at a 5-minute thing or a 1 minute. So yeah, I'm hoping the value, because in the past 2 days in the open the volume wasn't that great. So that's why I had all the losses only. But yeah, overall good.
Um,
It's amazing. It's amazing how good of a teacher experience is. You're like, oh, I don't know about listed breakouts. Now you're
Yeah.
doing it. Now you're kicking ass, and you're like, oh, I got something here. Alex, today, did you? Sorry, Sam. Did you know that when you entered Redbox today that the Fed was gonna post the rate hike within like 5 minutes of your entry? Alex is like, I'm in Redbox from 11:02. They do the thing and it dumps like 50 cents instantly. He's like, okay, sold for a small loss. I don't like this. It's like instant, dude.
Dude,
Well, actually, the drop wasn't instant. I saw it and then dropped. So yeah.
Sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
no, you're good. I was just to say, if you wanna go over a little bit of like why you switched to listed from OTCs, like what made you do that?
Oh, okay, yeah, well, because I was saying how I said it actually in my video in my recap. I was saying how unlisted you would like spend like a whole day just watching nothing, and then I mean I wasn't learning anything because I already knew everything. So then like spending like if there was 0 plays, I would just spend time doing nothing, and then the one play would come like once a week or a month, and yeah, it would be like worth it. But then like it's just about the money, like it's worth money wise, not learning wise. So right now I'm switching to listed because every day I trade, I learn something new. Like I learn how they move, those how they when they like break it then go down right away. Like I learn those things. I learn where to risk, how to add, where to go full size. So like something new. And then whenever the OTCs come back, obviously I'm ready. Like it's never gonna go away. Yeah, with the listed, still something new learning. Even though like the amount of money I'm making like is less, obviously, but I'm not caring about the money I make right now. Just what I learned, and then I can size up and bring the risk closer to the OTC risk eventually. And
Yeah, that makes
Love to see
sense.
it, brother.
Yeah, I love that, and it's interesting because, and obviously as I'm about to explain myself, other than Xander, he's done enough changing in his lifetime, but all of us have recently changed our systems, or at least something major about our trading, and for so long, when you're starting, as we've always preached, like you need to stick to one thing, and you need to refine it, you need to get good at it, you need to perfect it, but there comes a time too where you have to recognize how you work, how you trade, and when you might need to make an adjustment and change something up, for how your personality is, how you work, or based off of the markets. And I feel like, damn it, why do I gotta look at the gym and then look at Alex and think, oh, that's so annoying. Okay, and okay, I feel like there comes a point where like you earn the right to change your style. You earn the right to try something new. And we, us three, have always been very disciplined with
Oh my God.
sticking with one thing or sticking with our style. And I think we're all just kind of led into making the adjustments that we needed to in our careers that way.
Notice how the tables have turned. I've stuck with my system. You guys have switched.
Oh man, that's good.
But yeah, Sam, very well said.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. So
now it's your turn.
What's that?
Now it's your turn.
Yeah.
One more thing. I want to branch off of what Sam just said really quick. Alex, I love how you said how you would wait around for a major OTC runner, and yes, it would be worth it, but you were honest with yourself and said, if I keep doing only this, I'm not really learning anything new.
Yeah.
And when you said that was kind of what made you, branch out, and now you said you're learning, more with every single trade, it's that constant desire for growth in like every area of your trading, not only like, obviously finding consistency in one area of the market is super, super important. But when you know that, and like Sam said, you've earned your right and you have moved on to listed stocks now, and you're already doing very, very well with them. And then when, OTCs come back, you'll be able to nail OTCs and listed, and it will be fantastic sight to see. So just wanted to say that.
No, 100%. Very true. Yeah. Yeah, so for me, a lot's changed the last couple months. Everything with my trading pretty much. A couple months ago, I had a couple conversations with Xander and one of my mentors and friends, two-way trader. And I realized that I felt like I needed to make a change into mid caps and large caps from small caps. And there's a lot of reasons for it, but you know, when you're trading, you know, you've got to figure out how you work, how you view the market, how the market makes sense to you, and how your personality plays into the market. When 80% of trading is psychology, then you can either help that or you can hinder that, right? By your just natural personality traits. And so for me, there were some things where I realized, like Lance had talked about, small caps are so volatile. They are just euphoria, crazy emotion, like they're just all over the place. And that works a lot for a lot of people because you can make fast money, but you can lose money fast too. And you don't really have a lot of time to think. I mean, decisions have got to be made super fast. And there's just a lot of factors to that. Versus with mid caps and large caps, for the most part, you're trending. You're either trending up, you're trending down. You're following a bigger picture move. And for me, that made sense to me because with how I trade big caps and large caps now, it's about pattern recognition. It's mainly and almost completely technical analysis. So for me, you know, I'm working with higher time frame trend lines, support and resistance, and playing a bigger picture on a smaller time frame is what I'm doing. I'm following the bigger picture. And so for me, that makes a lot of sense because, you know, you take someone like Xander, who's gone into stats and data tracking and spreadsheets and all that type of stuff, which kudos to him, but that's not how my brain works, right? I'm a visual person. I'm a people person. I'm a visual person. I see patterns and I recognize them. And so for me, when I try to go the opposite out, some of the more the numbers and the dots and the doots and the dats, it just didn't work for me. Confusing. It was just like, and so I like the bringing the patterns back into play and bringing that technical analysis in. So about 2 months ago, I made that switch, and I have not looked at small caps a bit. When I make a switch, you know, I really try to be very disciplined with it, and I've really stuck with this. I've got a couple mentors that I am learning from and you know, working with. And I'm really keeping my head down. Obviously, as you guys know, I haven't been on an episode in a while. I've really just kind of dropped off as I've been just focusing and keeping my head down. Now, as far as where I'm at, I mean, I'm doing good, but I'm still, like Lance said, switching from small caps to big caps. You've got to like relearn this, man. Like it's hard. You're changing. You got to change how your mind works. Got to change how you treat these things. So it's definitely been pretty hard for me making that switch. And through that time, it's been a very busy season of life, as we'll get into an open discussion in a bit. So, you know, I'm doing well learning, but I'm back in that kind of beginner phase where, you know, I'm still a little bit red, but I'm keeping my size small. I'm getting some really good trades, and my losers I'm cutting, you know, fast. So I'm doing good with that. But it's still just refining, kind of learning what trades to take and how to size into them and how to ride the waves. You know, following a bigger trend, you know, it moves slower, but it's like slow motion, you know, so they're very grindy. So sometimes they're going to grind up farther than you think, and they're going to grind down lower than you think. And so I've definitely had, you know, a hard time with getting stopped out as it grinds higher than I think. Sometimes because I oversize too low because, you know, my mindset is still in some of these like high day clear outs or things like that, where like I'm sizing in too much too soon on these confirmations that I would have used in small caps, but don't really apply when you're working with the bigger caps because you've got so much more money and so many more big ballers that you see a stuff candle that's not meaning as much as it would in something like small caps. So that's been the change for me. That's definitely made it difficult. But I've sized down. I'm not bleeding, you know, I'm not taking big losses, anything like that, as I'm just relearning, you know, these strategies for me. So that's been where my trading's at. I've been disciplined with that. and sticking with just that. Eventually, soon, I want to incorporate going long into this. I usually recommend for people just to, you know, get one down and figure that out. But just for me, with how my style works and how I'm trading on the trend and with bigger time frames, it's pretty practical to sometimes go long when I see something, I'm going, I can't short that because it's coming here and it's gonna bounce. Okay, so why am I not? If I don't want to short it, then you know, a lot of times that means I can long it. Not all the times, but a lot of the time. So I want to get into that and get a little bit better at that. But baby steps for me. I'm still, you know, just sticking mainly with shorting. And yeah, it's working for me. It feels right for my personality. And we'll just keep refining it and keep you guys up to date with it. So yeah.
Dude, heck yeah, freaking love to hear it. I do want to say one thing. How you said how different small caps to large caps is, it's, you know, majorly different. And but I know Xander is going to agree with this statement that whether you trade large caps, small caps, OTCs, listed, options, futures, whatever, tape is so useful in whatever you trade. Like, I know Xander has said a lot about tape in the past, you know, few months. And even on, you know, like the SPY and large caps at major levels, and especially as Sam said, in large caps, these wick candles don't mean what they would mean in a small cap, because in a small cap, usually these large wick candles, it's generally done from there. There's a small pop of short into and it's kind of gone. But in large caps, these wicks happen sometimes and then they'll literally just instantly recover. And there's a lot of edge in tape reading that, you know, I'm sure all of us want to dive into, because I know that I'm not great at reading tape and I do want to improve. And, you know, I think that for quick decision making, it's something that, you know, increases your edge by so much. And, you know, there's always, you know, more for us to learn. But I love, Sam, I love what you said, everything that you were saying about, you know, finding what works for your personality and saying, you know, I'm this kind of person, this person's this kind of trader, and I found what works for me, and I'm just going to stick with that. So great job.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to add something, Lance, whenever you said on the large caps, the wicks, they like get bought up right away, right? You said. So I want to show it. I will show the screen right now.
Red box today?
No. So whenever I was doing my swing tracking, I was going over all the old breakouts. I saw this one. I mean, look at the chart. This is perfect breakout, right? You have the tight candle, right? Like, this is perfect. So now look what happened, because I didn't track this one. Look at this here, and the level 2. Look, you enter right here in the morning. Look.
Oh my
What the
god.
frick?
Wait, it's not. Look.
Oh my
What?
Oh,
Remember, risk low day. So your gut stopped right here.
My
And now?
gosh.
And now, nothing happened.
No
Oh
way.
my gosh, dude.
are you serious?
Now imagine being in this stock.
Dude, dead ass, that was what the SPY did today.
Dude,
Wait. Now let's let me show you this.
I've never seen a candle like
What was that stock again? NVAX. Let's see.
oh my god.
Look. Here. Look. It went all. Look where it went.
My
Right here.
gosh.
You would
Wow.
have bought it this day. Perfect day. It doesn't even look here that it broke the whole day, right? Look, it went right here without stopping you out. Like
Jeez.
40. What is it? 80%.
Wow.
And you would have sold it because it broke. I mean, you wouldn't even do anything. You would just had to stop. Never got triggered.
KK might have re-entered though.
Yeah, but where? At the high day risking what, like $5?
I guess. I don't know.
So yeah, whenever I saw this, I'm like, that is like, this is like, imagine being like, I went to the Kilmagi Discord. I tried finding that day, but they didn't have Discord at that time, because I would have loved to see the
Oh yeah.
messages from those people.
Yeah. Oh my god. Everyone got
Cursing you,
stopped out.
Because it was like perfect. Like, you just entered there, risk low day. It was like such a small risk. You were up like a few hours there, and then you just
Wow. I would cry. I would literally cry.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Awesome. Well, we can go into some open discussion then. And, you know, a couple of you guys, I haven't talked with you in quite a while. So it's good to see you guys' faces. And, you know, a big update is Xander and I
Oh yeah.
are headed
Oh,
to
yes,
Europe.
sir.
We will be leaving to Europe in just under 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Woo.
That's catching up to me fast. So yeah, we're headed to Europe in just under 2 weeks. We're gonna do some traveling. We're gonna meet up with some traders out there. And I just got a travel set up. So I'll be trading, we will both be trading on the road. And I'll be trying that kind of backpack life a little bit. I'll be out in Europe for about 3 months probably. Possibly
that's
a little
crazy.
bit longer if I'm really enjoying it. And definitely gonna shake up life for a while. So, but excited for Xander and I getting that trip.
Yep. It'll be fun.
So what countries? You said Italy, then what else?
We're
Netherlands?
flying into Rome, and then we're going to an island off of it's like, how's it pronounced? Napoli.
Oh, it's Naples?
Well,
Naples.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's an island called Ischia.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going
Because I
to
wanted
there.
to go to Naples.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go to somewhere in Switzerland. We still haven't
yeah,
decided.
we decide that.
Oh, Switzerland. Go to
Uh,
Sweden. Meet Kilmagi.
Yeah, and then we're going to Amsterdam. That's where I'm gonna probably end the journey.
Wow.
And then
Guys,
where are
please
you
send us
going
a
after,
picture.
Sam? Sam, are you going after the Netherlands? The Amsterdam, I mean.
Yeah, well, Amsterdam's in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then?
honestly I haven't decided yet. I'm going to get my feet underground in Europe.
Oh yeah, because it's closed still,
I
right?
have a little bit to decide. So I'm gonna get my feet kind of, you know, see how I feel, and then maybe start looking around, planning. I really want to go to Austria. I want to see the Alps, and I've got for anybody who's watched Sound of Music. I grew up on that movie.
I have.
So I want to go explore all the areas that they filmed. So that might be somewhere that I'll try. Maybe London. Maybe
Oh.
I'm going to visit a couple buddies in London that are in one of our tab groups.
Fox Trader and Ronnie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll
Very
be
nice.
fun. But yeah, definitely take lots of pictures and videos and everything. Make sure to program it well.
Yeah, definitely send us a picture of you guys like having like a drink on a balcony or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I want to
Trading
know,
too.
how has your guys' mentality been recently? Like, you know, just life in general, because obviously that affects your trading so much.
Yeah, well.
So how have you guys been doing like mentally? Something that the reason I wanted to bring this up is Xander and I had a conversation a little while ago, where a couple of our buddies who we all kind of started together have definitely somewhat fallen off the wagon of trading. I know we know one, and Xander and I have a couple friends that have definitely, you know, taken a step back. And it's so interesting because we all started off with the same fire, right?
Yeah,
The same
right.
motivation, all understanding, you know, how few make it. And I think we're hitting that phase where we're learning why so few make it,
Yeah.
right? We're starting to see that in our own groups. So wondering kind of how are you guys doing? How's your mentality been, and how has it been for you recently? Maybe we'll start with Alex.
It's funny how you're saying like how you be mentally, and I actually texted Jonas that I was like, I've been very, very bad mentally in the past like 2 months.
Okay.
After that, because I was like, after, especially like in the April, it was like huge. I was also talking to Jay that moment. It was like I got like a mini depression like for like 2 days. It was like crazy because I was like, I spent like 2 years like learning this, and then what? Like there's nothing. Like, especially at that time, it was like so bad. Like all my knowledge like I have right now, there's nothing. Like everything for nothing. And then other people, you know, like going out and everything, and I'm just sitting here because I don't really have a lot of like, you know, best friends here because I came to US kind of late, and then the corona happened, so I don't have a lot of friends, like actual friends. And then like trading was my best friend, and then this happened. So yeah, it was very bad. But then in the end, I'm like, I'm like, well, it is what it is. You can't change anything, so you can't really like, you know, dwell on things you can't control. And still, the Jack Kellogg is that person I always think about, because he started in 2017, and he only started to like make money in 2019, so 2 years.
Yeah.
The same thing. I only be trading for 1.5 years, like actual trading. So yeah, it's just gonna happen at some point. And because I'm still here, I'm not leaving. So like it means something that so it's not just money, because if it was just money, I would just went somewhere else. But I'm still showing up every day, a little bit every day, without taking like great trades that I'm capable of. I know I am. If there's like the market turns good right now, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be a disaster. I'm just gonna kill everyone. So,
It's gonna be a murder.
yeah, but yeah, it's fine. And overall, it's at least it's summer. I don't have college right now, and I'm gonna also go to Armenia in August, so it's gonna be a good thing.
That's so important to talk about, because like I'm at like the emotions that you experience with that: anger, rage, probably even maybe some fear of like, did I just spend the last year and a half doing the wrong thing, right? Like doubting yourself and questioning yourself and wondering if you mess something up. And that alone there, especially in a market where you're like, well, maybe it's true because I can't do anything. That is something that would take a lot of people out of the game, right?
Yeah.
In that mood, they would start questioning themselves, they would start doubting themselves, they would start slacking, and then before you know it, they're gone, right? And so, you know, kudos to you, and that just shows how strong, you know, those of us that are continuing on, where it's like, instead of giving up, you went, all right, this really sucks. I'll cry about this later, but I need to find a solution, right? I need to, so what? Time to figure out something different. And, you know, now you're adjusting and you're learning how to compensate for that. So that's a big thing. And I think a lot of people don't realize how difficult that can be. And the emotions, I'm sure, that came when you kind of realized that you needed to switch something up can definitely be really hardcore.
I think also a lot of people just think about the money with trading. They're like, okay, I'm not making money, therefore no benefit. But with trading, we have, you know, this amazing friend group. You know, we're traveling together, we're like meeting with each other, we're talking all the time. We've made great friends and great connections in life too. But we've also learned a lot of things that apply to like in general in life. Like I know, like whatever venture I go on to next, I'm gonna have the discipline, the drive. I'm gonna have the roadmap to becoming successful, because trading is one of the hardest things ever. And becoming a great trader has been an incredibly hard just journey. But I know that I've paved a path on how to actually improve at something that's extremely hard, and I can use that in anything.
Yeah, it's so
Right.
Oh, and
Yeah,
also
definitely.
with those that great that was like a huge quote from Andy Frisella. I mean, not a quote, he was saying it. He was like, if you give up now, that means everything you just did was useless, for nothing. And then at the moment when you just remember when like what was it, May 2020, when I first that was actually April 2020 when I first put my email address in that Sykes YouTube ad. And like since then, like if I just like stop doing it, so that means nothing, like that was all for nothing. So and when they like hear that, and also another one was like, you're closer to where you want to be than where you started.
Yeah,
that was also huge. So yeah, just things like that, they just
and the thing that always kept me from quitting is the thought of, usually when you're at your breaking point is when you're about to break through a wall to a breakthrough.
That picture always comes to my mind. The one where he's like mining and there's like diamonds right there. Always comes to my mind when I think of that.
Because when you're at your breaking point is when you're about to break through. But if you get to that breaking point and you give up, like I just like in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, if I give up now, then that means that tomorrow would have literally been the day.
You're selling your stock right before the breakout. You didn't give it enough time. You're selling before your risk.
Like I just can't do it, because I know that when I'm at that point, and we know this from our own career, like we've seen this, when you're like just about to implode and then you push through that one last push. I mean, that's in working out, like, you know, people working out, like, and a lot of things in life, you push through, that's when you see that breakthrough that you've been waiting for. And that's hard. That's easier said than done. That is a very hard place to be in. But if you can do that, you see the rewards from it.
Yeah, definitely. There's this quote that was like, a person's treasure lies right in the cave that they fear of entering most. Like the cave that you fear to enter most is where your treasure is. And as we've developed as, you know, traders, and how this, as you guys were all talking about, I'll branch off of what you all said, of consistency in other areas of life, building yourself as your personality that will affect your trading, and not only your trading, but other areas of life as well. I'm sure we really underestimated the consistency that this takes in the beginning of our trading. Like in the beginning, we were like, okay, yeah, 3 to 4 years, I'll become a millionaire, XYZ. And now we're like, okay, $200 a day is $50K a year, $400 a day is $100K a year. And so now we're thinking that consistency perspective, like Xander said, he's paving the way, and we're all paving the way. And it's kind of like that light at the end of the tunnel. It's kind of like we're chopping wood. We're trying to cut down a tree with an axe, and we're swinging at the axe. We're swinging the axe 100 times, 100 times, 100 times. And then like we have like a little like inch of wood left that we're like trying to go. And if you quit, you know, cutting down the tree, that tree's not going to come down. But that one last hit with the axe that it takes is when that tree is going to fall. And, you know, obviously we're not falling, but you know, we're improving. But you know what I mean? It's an analogy. But yeah, it's that everyday consistency. And Sam, like you were talking about, you were saying, you know, fear is a real thing. Like, you know, am I doing the right thing? But for all of us, I feel like I could speak for all of us that there's really no other option for us. Like we put our mind to this, and this is there's no other option, because we're either gonna make this work or we're gonna make this work.
Yeah.
We're literally gonna freaking.
We'll die trying, literally.
Exactly. Yeah, there's literally no other option.
It's like Jack said,
making this work.
that whenever he and Kyle, they were together, they like sailed to the island and then they burned the ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We're either making this work or we're making this work.
We're making this work. Yeah, exactly.
That's the title of this video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We're making this work. But like although trading is a very, very, you know, lonely profession, like outside of other traders like us that we talk to. Wait, I'm muted. Hold up. I can't hear you guys.
They're not. We can hear you.
Oh, my bad.
Bro, that is so funny, your GIF. I noticed like 10 minutes ago. I was like, wow, I guess I did lose it.
I just saw that too.
Wait.
It's a perfect GIF.
I gotta scroll up to it.
It's in media chat.
That's funny.
Right.
That is great.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Continue.
All right, I gotta finish this thought.
Yeah.
Ready? All right. So yeah, as I was saying, trading can be a very, well, not can be, it is a very misunderstood field. Outside of our group and our tag groups and, you know, the people that we talk to, nobody in our everyday life, family, you know, acquaintances, people we see, nobody understands us. And it's a really interesting, but at the same time, very satisfying feeling. I don't know how to explain the feeling of like being misunderstood. You know, sometimes it sucks, but most of the time it's like, wow, like I know what I'm capable of. And, you know, as Alex was saying, like he's like not having like a ton of close friends. Like for me, like one of my best friends, he's in the Navy and he plays football at Navy in Maryland. So I don't get to see him very much. And, you know, it's just, you guys are literally like my best friends. And like the relationships through trading, like ever since the beginning, like we're talking about the 1 year since we started making these videos. And it's just been insane to see. And although, you know, we're not like super consistent with, you know, talking all the time and stuff, you know, times for certain things come and go. But, you know, when we do get to connect with each other, it's always such a special time. And, you know, it's only going to, you know, get better, as we've been saying, you know, for a year now in these episodes. And you guys have seen such changes through all of us, like I'm sure if we watched our first video right now, we'd be like, yeah, what the heck
Yeah.
is that kid
The
doing?
first video, I'm talking about my trade for 20 minutes.
The first video, me and Sam and I were talking about like our MIC scalps, like our
Yeah.
tiny little scalps.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. No, Lance, that's so true. And like the group that we have, like y'all are such good humans. And you think about like when you got your friends group, right? You've maybe got like one person, two people, one or two people. They're like, okay, those are good people. Like those are people that I would really enjoy spending time with consistently, right? And those are hard people to find, you know. But we've got a group of those guys here. You know, like all of you guys are like, I'm so close with you, and we click. We enjoy each other's company. We got an Airbnb. You know, Lance, obviously you're included in this, even though you weren't there. But you know,
I know, I appreciate it. Next time I will for sure.
Yeah, and we click. And I think that, you know, obviously we're all good people, but I think there is something about the trading community as a whole, because of what, you know, has already been said, where like it goes into the other areas of your life. It's not just about making money. It's not just about trading. Like the things that you have to overcome, the person that you have to become to be a successful trader, you learn so much and you mature so much. And if you do it right and you stay humble, a lot of people, they don't stay humble, then you become douchebags. But if you stay humble, it refines you into a really well-rounded person, you know. And I know a lot of people in the trading community that you know, are just really, really good people, and that's our group here, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that goes back to having a competitive mindset and then finding trading and wanting everybody else around you to succeed. Yeah. Like I'm sure before trading, we were like all like pretty competitive people, whether it be like athletic backgrounds or what have you. But having that community, like Sam just said, where people want to build each other up and see each other succeed, that's huge. Because in so many other areas of life, like say you work a regular job and you're constantly in conflict with your other coworkers because you're trying to get promoted to this job and this job. No, trading, we're all our own, you know, systems to execute, but we want everyone else like to succeed as well. And that's what makes it special.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, watching way back in time, watching like Stocks to Trade, the channel, and on one of their things they said, Matt said, you know, you're the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. And that's so true. Like it's so true. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. So Lance, how have you, you know, back to that, how have you been doing mentally? How are you doing?
So mentally, honestly, I'm surprised on how optimistic I've been able to stay through a very, very large loss. And I think that having consistency in other areas of life, relationships, you know, fitness, having a routine and all of that stuff, putting that together has really helped, you know, kind of put my mind where it needs to be and off of the, you know, money aspect that, you know, we don't like think about very much. And, you know, yes, like I took a big loss, but I feel like better after this big loss. And I would say that my mental state right now is probably better than it's ever been. And and even though, you know, my trading account doesn't show that right now, but you know, it's that constant little things, you know, that I'm noticing every single day. That's really like, it's really just everyday improvement and growth in, you know, every area of life that is like keeping me going and, you know, keeping me mentally like in that mindset. And like Sam said, there are some thoughts of like fear and stuff, but like we were saying, there's like no other option. And I would say that, you know, my mental state right now is very, very good. And I had something else to say. Maybe I'll remember as Xander goes to talk. But you know, I would say everything mentally is going really, really well right now. And you know, as Xander said, surrounding yourself with people that build you up, and you know, cutting ties with people who don't. That has been huge. That has been huge for me. You know, in the past, you know, few months. And you know, it's either someone they make you become a better version of yourself, and you help them become a version of themselves, and they want to build you up. And and have it be like a mutual improvement, or they just want to drink their face off and do whatever and not improve, and distancing yourself like from that. It's like that's not me, and distancing yourself from that, and sticking with what that you need to do, and not letting these materialistic per se distractions kind of get in the way of the system and the process that each of us are building. It's definitely very, very massive. And finding someone who like makes you want to become a better version of yourself. You guys know, like, I mean, I've been talking to this girl from Colombia recently, and she makes me want to become a better version of myself.
Look at that.
Sam, what the heck?
And it's important. It's important.
That's how
he
wasn't active in our chat.
Yeah, it's important to find people who build you up and want to see you succeed, and have that similar mindset for growth and improvement. So I would say I'm doing really well mentally, despite the monetary pullback, but it'll be all figured out in the next coming months. So
that's good. That's good. And a reminder for me when I rewatch this, to screenshot Sam whenever he made that. That'll be good. That'll be a good Discord.
Fine, I'll do it.
All right.
We're gonna make a new emoji.
Yeah. But yeah, that's really true about having someone
Let me put a note here.
that helps you become a better person.
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron, right?
Yep.
For sure. All right, how about you, Xander?
I will show my entire P&L curve to talk about this.
Interesting. How's your look. Lance saying my P&L doesn't like dictate my mental state. Xander, how's your mental state? Let me show P&L.
Yeah, Xander, mine's at the bottom of that cumulative drawdown.
That's beautiful.
Bro, that is hilarious. I didn't realize that.
The timing.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's a perfect segue into it.
That is so funny. But yeah, so this is my entire career P&L. This is in R's. If it gross, it's down because of commissions, of course. Well, sorry, net, it's down because of commissions, of course. But like gross, I'm like a little over break even. But these are in R's. This is if I risk the same amount every trade for my entire career. So it shows like the performance. So this was my huge drawdown, and this was ADF in March, and it was pretty much, it was the entire March I drew down in huge amount of 33R to be exact. And during this time, I was kind of like Lance, where I was not that down. I was pretty okay. And I think that's because I had faith in the system, but I mean, that's the main thing. I had faith in the system, but I was just, for some reason, I don't know exactly why, but I was feeling good. Now that I'm like pretty much killing it with my current system, I have a lot of fear every single day. Now what's good is that I trade a system, and it's really easy to stick to that. Well, it's really easy to like execute that system, and I'm not gonna like mess up my trades because of emotions. I execute the same way every day. So my fear doesn't really matter. What matters is that I execute 100% every day, which is pretty easy. But I have fear that, this is not going to last long, because the hardest thing personally for me in my entire journey has been, here, let me stop sharing. Personally for me, the hardest thing in my journey has been, having that slight, maybe half a month of hope, and then it getting absolutely crushed. Whether that's, getting crushed and then I switch systems and then I go through the same repetitive thing. But finally, I feel like, for 2 months I've been consistent. I'm feeling that same way. I'm like, man, when's the drawdown? When's the 40R drawdown? When is it? Because at this point, it's happened 5 times before. Why isn't it not going to happen again? Right. Because what makes this time any different? So it's been a lot of fear. Like, when is that going to happen? Like, I'm not getting hopes up. I'm like, oh, this isn't real. Like, it's imposter syndrome. It's like, this isn't, this is all going to go away tomorrow. Like, don't get happy with it. Like, I mean,
So
it's good that
that's a good mindset though.
yeah, it's a
You're
good
always ready.
mindset because I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But it's also somewhat toxic because I'm just like, man, I live in a bit of fear every day. You know, is today the day I draw down? Like Monday, I lost, I think 7R, and it was so unfortunate. So about May 1st to the middle of June, well, middle of, you know, what we've like, I think like 5 days ago, you know, last week,
Yep.
I had my certain R. I was risking a certain percent of my account. Just this week, I decided to, because that was like an inefficient percent of my account. So I could be risking more without risking a blow up or anything. Like I was like, you know, it wasn't efficient. So just this week, I was like, wow, I'm really performing well. I need to jump. I need to, you know, take the risk and go to the efficient percent risk of my account. So I went up, all right. And that's that same day that I basically doubled my risk. I had a -7R day. I was like, man, that sucks.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, and I mean, I was like, man, this is it. This is the start of the drawdown. But then the next day I had a 6R day, and then today I had a 1R day. So like, you know, I'm just living in a bit of fear. Like, when is the drawdown gonna start?
In the Six Flags.
What? Yeah, it's a roller coaster of emotions. But what's good is that my system's easy to execute, and I know I won't not execute it properly. I know I'll stick to it. So it really doesn't matter what I think, and we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, Xander. It's finding that perfect middle ground between, oh no, like when can my next drawdown happen? You know, I'm, you know, fearful of what could happen, like you just said, and being like I was, where I was like, oh heck yeah, I just won 7 trades in a row and I made everything back that I lost the whole year so far, and then I got literally screwed. So it's that perfect middle ground of, you know, in the moment, like system, process, execution. I don't care about the result because, quite frankly, it does not matter. Like whether I make $100 today or I lose $100 today does not matter a year down the road at all, like at all. And that has been something that has been keeping me, you know, kind of mentally set. I mean, obviously I took a big loss, but in the long run, I'm going to look back and be like, wow, that was a really good lesson. And having that long-term approach with the everyday consistency is just so huge. So it's finding that middle ground of your mindset, not being too euphoric, not trading scared, finding that middle ground. Once you do consistently, that's when good things happen.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a great point, because recently I've been doing the same thing where I'm trying to not focus on the day to day. It doesn't matter if I draw down 7R tomorrow, because if I follow the system, like the system should recover the profits within a month, like
Right.
As long as I stick to it. So just stop focusing on the day to day. It's unneeded stress. I don't need to have that stress, because I just need to focus on the month to month. And as long as the month to month is up to my expectations, then I'm feeling good. If they're not, then I need adjusting. But I don't need adjusting based on day-to-day action.
Right.
So that's a huge thing.
For sure.
Yeah, that's really good, man. Very true. Yeah, so for me, let's see, did I talk about my mental health break?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah.
No, you didn't.
So yeah, like 3 months ago, maybe, I got to the point where I had to take like a mental health break. It was about 2 weeks long. And it was just because, you know, I have been grinding. We all have. What is it?
Okay, since everyone's smiling. Alex.
What happened? What happened, Alex?
Media chat.
The last 2 minutes?
No, that literally was you the last 2 minutes, damn it.
Why?
I was trying not to laugh when I was talking and when Xander was talking.
Oh, you don't even know the half of it. Someone was distracting me. Anyway, so oh, look at
Take a little break.
it. Anyway,
your mental health.
okay. All right. We good? Okay. So, I mean, I've been grinding for like a year, and we all have, a little bit more than a year now, and like 110 miles per hour, full steam. And that takes a lot out of a person. It takes a lot. And in that year, I had a lot of things that happened, some really big things, personal things that went on during that year, as you guys know. And it just all started to just compile on top of itself. And I started to see the effects come into my life, right? And I was becoming irritable and just more short-tempered and, just really stressed out and wasn't really thinking clearly. And I realized that, it's not a failure to take a break,
True.
A lot of people, it's about discipline, right? A lot of people try to do that and they're slacking off, but obviously I wasn't slacking off. I just recognized what was needed to happen. So I took a couple months off, or not a couple months, couple weeks off. And it was really, really good for me. And I would encourage that highly to someone. If you've been grinding for a long time and you're just really losing steam, don't feel ashamed to take time off. 1 week is nothing in the grand scheme of things. 2 weeks is nothing in the grand scheme of things. But where you are mentally and not burning yourself out, that's a big deal, and that really means a lot. And so I'm really thankful that I did, and people around me that supported me doing that. And coming back from that is when I kind of realized that I needed to make that change from small caps to large caps, with some of that time that I processed through with that. And so since coming back, I've been really good mentally. Obviously, life has been really busy for me. Getting ready for Europe, and I'm going to be gone for a very long time. So I've got a lot of loose ends that I have to wrap up here, and spending a lot of time with family, and just kind of getting things in order. So I've been really busy, pretty stressed out, but just because life's busy, that happens. And I think it's important to show the realistic side of what it means to be a day trader, not just once you've made it and you've got the Lambos and you're trading on the beach side. But I think a lot of this conversation and this podcast has been about some of the more realistic expectations of being a day trader and that journey into success. So I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm super excited to be traveling on the road soon and see how that is. But it's definitely been a roller coaster the last few months for sure.
I think that's a good point. If anyone wants to introduce someone into the world of trading, show them this video. So from the start, they get the expectations. To be completely honest, I don't recommend trading for anyone because I look back at where I started and it's just this giant mountain I've climbed. I can't imagine having to start back at that bottom of the mountain. I could not do it again. I'm happy with where I'm at right now. I've climbed so far. But I can't imagine having to do that.
And it's we're mentally 40.
It's been brick by brick, step by step. We've taken a lot of steps every single day. I don't think there's a day where we didn't think about trading or at all. Seriously,
literally.
We've taken a step every day and it's compounded into this giant mountain. So that's why I can't imagine having to start at ground zero. But
no, it's intense, man. And the expectations, I think that's why most traders fail, is because the expectations of getting into it is making money and so cool and so fun. And then you face what we are and it's oh, okay.
I mean, look, even if you have expectations of making money, but you're young, because whenever I started, I of course expected to make money.
Yeah.
And I was well, no, okay, fine. But whenever you're old, 27, I would say, and you start and you expect to make money, then you don't. That's different, because now you have to, you must make money some other way. But because of course, I was telling you so many times after the February, I was I'm gonna make 50K by the end of 2021.
I remember that. I remember that.
But then I didn't, and I mean, who cares? I don't care, because it doesn't matter, because I realized during those months that it takes years to be consistent. So it was I admitted it without anything. It's fine.
Yeah, definitely. And Sam, what you were talking about earlier about taking breaks and how necessary it is, I have something to play off of that. But so when we first started trading, we were oh my gosh, we hate the weekend so much. We want the market to be open 24/7 right now. And now we're like, all right, guys, good luck. Have a great weekend. I don't care that the market's closed. In fact,
Oh,
I want
wait,
it
wait,
to be closed.
Oh, Monday's market closed? Yes.
Ah, yeah.
I'm like, where are the holidays this month, man? I need a break.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's
June,
true. I like the
Juneteenth's coming up. The
weekends.
market's closed. Great.
My
true.
my head's getting gray.
Oh gosh. It's
Gray hairs in early 20s.
Real though.
Not even.
I know. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I like the weekdays equally as much as the weekends now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a good balance. Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
I miss both wherever I'm at.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's definitely a good balance for it. But yeah,
Yep. Time and a place for everything.
I mean, I think that's a pretty good place to end it. End the episode with what it's like to start trading. You know, this is the real deal, y'all. This is what it looks like. It's
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
we not recommend, but we're
That's
all
the title of this video. We do not recommend.
We do not
day
recommend. Do not become a day trader.
trade. Do not become a day trader.
Well, actually, we should say become a day trader because then it's gonna be better for us.
Yeah, give us some money.
put that money back in the market. Put that money back in the market. Awesome. Xander, you want to wrap us out?
Yeah, so
Don't say.
Oh, baby.
Don't say.
this was the best video by far, and I'm not even kidding.
In the
I
last
think-
2 months.
I know I say this every time. This is like my
in the
favorite
last
one.
2 months. I literally think this was a great video, A+. Oh, so many good points. Like, really, I want everyone. A lot of people, I'll say this, a lot of people in trading, they listen to all this advice and stuff, but they don't internalize it. They just listen to it. It goes in one ear, out the other. You got to really think about it, internalize it, and accept it deep inside if you want to become a trader. If you don't, you're going to be weak. You're going to be paper handing,
Whoa.
and you got to diamond hands this journey. Peace out, everyone.
What is this?
Please, cheers.
It's under motivation. See you next week.